Hey guys, day 50, Devlog part 2. Time to get on, and tonight we're going to do some aiming stuff. Now, the aiming stuff was never really accurate, but it was accurate enough to hit things. So, we're going to carry on and we're going to do a few little tests, okay? Which is basically going to involve our bow. Okay? So, we're going to do a couple of things here. So, we are going to get our new bow. Okay. And when we are aiming, we are going to set a timer by function name. Okay. And we're going to call it shoot trace. We're going to do it once per second, and it's going to loop. Okay. And we're going to join it up to here. Now, this isn't going to stay, but it's going to give us an idea. So, we are going to say custom event. And what the heck? Ah, right, okay, whatever. Right, let's call this as a function, right? So, we're going to clear timer by function name. I'm going to copy that. We're going to paste that. Okie doke. We're going to save that. Then we're going to go in here. And we're going to add a custom event. And that's going to be shoot trace. Okay. So, we are going to get our arrow mesh. We're going to get the rotation on it. Right. Then we're going to get the forward vector. We're going to multiply it by, let's say, 10,000, like before. Then we're going to get the location. And we're going to add the vector. Nah, I used to do Twitch, but I think YouTube is a more valid platform for this type of stuff. Your mileage may vary, but that's just my personal feeling on it. Nothing against Twitch, in theory, apart from the obvious things that people are upset at Twitch about these days. Right, so we're going to do a line trace. Right now, we're not really bothered if we actually hit anything here. Right. Now, our start is going to be this. We just want to make sure that our arrow is going to shoot out and at the right angle, okay? And if it does, then we can leave this code in and then use it when it comes to the crunch, right? So we're going to ignore self. We are going to do that. Our draw time is going to be a second because that's how often we're doing this, right? So that should work. Okay. As I said, we're just doing some testing for, not necessarily for the whole of the night, but at the moment we're just trying to get a feel for this. Right, so you can see that we're actually facing the wrong way. Right. Which is a bit crap. Now, I'm just wondering, if we multiply this by negative 10,000, yeah, you can see there that we're actually doing the right thing. So in theory, that is the way our arrow should actually go. Okay. So we can definitely see it is following that arrow. Okay. Now the interesting thing, of course, would be, excuse me, having a cup of coffee. Well, as you can see, it actually is, right? But there's a couple of things we need to do to fix this up, right? Number one, I would say that she needs like to bring the bow down a bit. It's only in the stationary position, right? This is because I made this because the stationary position 1 was a bit even weirder. Okay? So this is a temporary thing. But what we could do, right, to make it a bit better, and this is where I break everything. If we go to our pawn, then animation, new animation data. Hi Marius, nice to see you back. Welcome to you. Right. You see, this is the animation for that, okay? Now, you can actually see that her hand right, we want to pause that. We want to get to the end. Right, so it's got the one frame. What am I doing? I'm trying to get her arm kind of straight. So if I key that, save it. Yeah, I know. As I said, it's merely a... It's the final frame of another animation, which is why it's a bit weird, right? So just ignore it for now. I don't think that worked. Right, I'm going to go in here. Yeah, I think these are from a paid animation. So basically we're just... Hi Stormrun. Basically we're just flapping about it. Right, show me the blend space. Right, so blend space at 0 is walking forward 1. Right, which should be now I shouldn't need to change this in here. right? Oh, apparently. Right, we'll do that, right? Key it, apply it, save it, and now she should be aiming straighter, right, rather than straight up. And she is, kinda. Right, but not quite. So key, apply, save. Right, that's definitely straighter. Okay, that's kind of more like it. Right. Right, so that's good, that's cool. We like that so far. Going to grab my coffee. Okay. So the problem is here, right? I know our feet are weird, right? So what we could actually do, right? And this is where I completely muck it up, right? Right, this is where I muck things up, so don't get upset when I muck this up. Oh no, we don't want to do that. We probably want to rotate that. And that's the bottom half, right? So it's actually up here. I think we want to rotate it, right? Now, which way we're going to rotate it, I've got no idea. I mean, that's going to look better, even just like that. Maybe. Right, and then if I get our calf and then kind of do the same thing. Right, and the problem with this is we're going to have to do our left now. Right, which I'm probably going to make a similar hash of. Oh, we don't want to do that. No sorry. Right, now, as you can see, our feet are pretty much together now. Oh, didn't want to do that. Right, this is all your fault, Sinistro, that I'm doing this. Well, this isn't my wheelhouse, right? So right, that'll do. As I said, it's not. This isn't the final one anyway. Right, we're just trying to get this to work. Right, there you go, that looks better. You happy? Okay, and we've got it going, the arrow aiming basically straight out. Right? Now, the issue is the camera. Right? Because the camera can rotate around the player, then obviously we've got a crap. That actually looks not bad, considering the fact that it was me that done it. Right, but the point being, right, that it basically, we've got a problem with the camera, right? We need the camera to basically be locked in place. Okay. Now, I'm going to try something here, which is going to probably muck everything up. Right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to close animation down because I'm crap at it. Right? Because I never do it. So this is shooting our line trace out, which we like. Right? We like that. We like the line trace, it comes out, it looks good, right? And never thought about that. What if we attached a camera to the arrow? Right, let's try it. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a spring arm, right? And then when you go to aiming, I'm going to spawn the spring arm. I think 300 is quite a lot. Right, but in the meantime what we'll do, right, is we'll see, I don't know why it does that. Right. Right. And I don't know what the difference between a camera and a cine camera is. Right, so we'll just go camera, right? And we'll spin it 180. And then actually the spring arm 180. Right, and then we'll put our camera back. Okay. We'll save that. I am trying to once and for all find an answer to our camera controller issue. Okay. Now, in our pawn, we're going to worry about this stuff later, right? Don't worry about that mess for now. That's a mess we can fix. That isn't our big issue right now. Right. Okay, it's here. Yeah, it is kind of what we're having to do here, but the camera that we're using, this cine camera, is a pain in the ass. Right, this is, yeah, de-escalate, right? So if it's aiming, you go back to here, or notched, sorry, then we get this, and we activate and we get the bow. Get the camera and deactivate. Yeah, the camera we're using is a pain in the arse because it's fully orbital, right? And the fact that it's fully orbital just basically causes issues everywhere. Right? Now, what we want to do now is a similar thing, except basically the opposite. When we escalate up to aiming. Right? So in here we go cine camera, right? And we delete that. And now that we've got our bow, oopsie, we go in there, right? This can go, that goes in there. Okay. Oh my god, we are now, what's it called? What's that game called? Assassin's Creed. Right, so the problem here is that our bow we don't auto activate. Alright. Wow. That's interesting. Right, you see how it doesn't rotate the camera now? It all goes completely bonkers. Now, the interesting thing is that you'll notice that, wait a minute, no, that's okay. You'll notice that our spring arm, for some reason, let's make that 1,000, right? Just to prove a point. Right, so we're going to here. And the question is, am I doing this the wrong way round? Right, we escalate hunting mode, right? So we go to aiming. Yeah, so I put this in the wrong place because I'm an idiot. Right. and that ain't going to come from there. Right, so it was as simple as that, Ubisoft, for Assassin's Creed, man. Alright. That's all they needed to do. Wait, see, it'll still not work. Oh, look at that, it works. Right. Now that's interesting. But it does show you where my camera is, right? Now, the question here is, no shit, Sherlock, Storm. But the problem is, right, why is the sodding camera there? Right? That's the question. Yeah, you can. But it should start hidden in game. Right? But having said that, it's probably because it's under bow mesh, and basically I show and hide these, right? And the problem is that because I'm showing and hiding it, it actually, what's the word I'm looking for? It impacts this as well, right? So, but I still don't understand why the spring arm ain't keeping it like away from our character. Yeah, this like bow mesh, when I show it, it does it for all its children, right? So basically the arrow mesh shows, the arrowhead mesh shows, the spring arm shows, and the camera shows, right? I believe that's why it's doing it. I can stop it doing it, but I believe that's why it's doing it just now. The thing I don't understand is why the spring arm isn't keeping it 400 from basically the arrow mesh, right? I don't know why it's right on top of this arrow mesh. Because it quite simply shouldn't be. Right? It just shouldn't be. And it also looks to me like it isn't actually doing the right thing anyway. Right, I think we're going to go back to our original plan. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to delete that. Now, I can compile that. We're going to go back here. This isn't going to work anymore. So I'm going to delete that, right? Now, right, okay, I need to delete it out of the other part as well, which is fine. We're going to do something similar, but we're going to do it in a different way. Now, well, I was doing stuff, I was activating one and deactivating the other, right? What I might need to do is open a project and just get a third-person camera and migrate it in. But in theory, right? We're going to have a spring arm, right? So this is it here, right? We've got a blend camera position, right? Now, the interesting thing that we've got about this is right, I'll show you what this is, right? And this is all because of this wacky controller, right? This wacky camera that we've got, the orbits and shit, right? Now, when I go and climb a ladder, right? If I leave the camera, right, and spin about and stuff, it basically just makes it look absolutely ridiculous, right? So you'll notice here what I do is actually lerp to the blend. I switch cameras there, right? And then I switch back, okay? But I lock it in place so you can't actually move the camera, right? So that kind of becomes a problem. Now, what I could do is I could do a very similar thing, right? Then I could kind of enable input and see where we are, right? So, if I can remember how to do this crap. Right, let's have swatchers at here. Right, so basically what we do is God, I can't even remember what it is. Is it blend to... Anybody know off the top of their heads what it is to... Get forward vector, it's not to do that. It's not to do that. Probably better picking... Ah, right, wait a minute. Right. Okay. Let's... You see here, we've got a switch camera thing, right? And we spawn the camera in. Okay, and we set view target with blend. Okay. So. Let's say right, what do I do here? Static camera, low position. Right, okay. So back to where we were, which is, I believe, over here. Right, so that's de-escalating, okay? So, if we de-escalate, we basically go to here and we say switch camera. Okay. Then we can duplicate it and put it up here. Okay. And we should have a tick there and probably not a tick there. Right. So, if we do this, we do this, we do that, right? It pulls us to the right place. Okay? And that takes us back to where we were, right? So you can see there that it blends the cameras, right? It pulls us to there, blah, blah, blah. But the problem is I can't move, right? Okay, so it's as if the pawn or player controller is kind of screwy. Okay, you'll notice that she can still actually move her head, right? So I'm going to escape that. So we know right, that we can basically get the camera into position. Right, now the problem with this is we have to, well, for this one we don't, but in this case we actually need to enable input. Right, so we need to get player controller. Right, now you'll see what I mean in a minute. Right, so we've got the right position. But you'll notice that we can't move. Now, she is moving her body a bit, depending on, that's me moving the mouse around, right? Which I think I can actually fix. But we need to find out from here right, and the weird thing is we ain't switching off control, which is making it a wee bit confusing. Now, the interesting thing here is, well, this camera give me a second. Right, so we're going to delete this because we might need to redo something about this, right? But what I'm going to do is this camera we're going to try something. Rotate. Right, yaw. Right. So this is BP blend camera, right? Let's have a look at this. Right, I think it's just basically a static camera, right? But I might have switched something off on this. Right, that's okay. Right. So, for the camera, use pawn control. We might need to use this, use pawn control. Right. So we're going to try that in a minute. And then if that works, we'll set up a proper position, etc. for it. And we'll take it from there. So, if you guys are enjoying the stream, hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. Check out the description for links to the game's Discord, my personal Discord where I answer questions on Unreal Engine, stuff like that, my Patreon, and finally my previous game on Steam. So check them out while I have a cigarette. I'll be about 5 minutes. I've timed it at that. Be right back, guys. Okay, guys, we are back. Do you like the new logo? Let me know if you like the new logo. Right, so our camera, right, we're going to do that for a laugh. And we're not going to do that. Now, there's one other thing that we're going to have to do, which you see how she moves a bit, her pose and stuff, right? Well, that's not awfully good. Now, this did not make any difference. Right? It made absolutely zero difference. But the one thing that I can fix at this point is, yes, you've guessed it, we are back to our animation. Right? And basically, we've got to do the same as this thing here. Right? And we've got to do it by bow state. So we're going to duplicate this, and I'm going to show you what this is going to do, right? What this is going to do is we're going to bypass all of this stuff here. Okay. So we're going to grab our bow state, and we're going to say equals aiming. And if it's not equal to aiming, okay, we're not going to do that. We're going to say not going to do that. Never used it. Had a look at it. On a few occasions. Actually, you know what we could do here? We could do a delete. Right? And here, we could do an OR. How fast is my PC? I don't know how to answer that question. There's a video on it. If you look up my videos, there's a video on what my PC is capable of and what it looks like. Get is equal to aiming right, and this is going to be no as well. Right, and that is going to go in there. Right, now in theory, right, she isn't going to move her upper body now. Okay? If I'm aiming, she isn't going to twist her upper body to try and go in line. Right? You can see that. Yeah, what a liar I'm proving to be. Okay. I mean, what I could do, right, just as a proof of concept, right, what I think is happening here, this is the animation, but the actual head rotation is being taken care of somewhere else, right, and that is one of the issues. So her head is rotating, it's just the animation was playing to actually rotate her head as well, which was causing an absolute problem, right? Now, I don't think this is going to fix it. Right? But we might need to add it somewhere else. we might need to stop. If she's aiming, I might need to stop her rotating her head and upper body. Right. So we'll try that again. Well, that completely broke things. And that would be because I didn't plug this in. Duh. Alright. Right, you can see that she doesn't move now, right? Which you know what? If this camera was in the right place, this would work. Kinda. Well, that's weird. It's weird because, well, see how I'm trying to move backwards, right? And it's not allowing me to. So it is still completely weird. Right? But at least we're kind of making progress. And it looks to me here's the interesting thing. Let's try something. Right. If I move, right, if I say now don't switch the camera, right? What effect is this going to have on the orbiting? Yeah, you can still orbit, right? But you'll notice her head isn't turning now, right? Which is kind of what we want. Right? Okay, so that's a problem. I'm going to type something into Google here. Right. Okie dokie. Right. I'm going to try something here. We need our event tick. I'm going to say get control rotation. And I'm going to say print string, believe it or not. That's going to go there. Right. Right, so we know that this goes to 360, right? Now, the interesting thing is right, I'm going to need a button here. So we've got button 9. And I think my wife is about to return, so I'm going to have to turn off the mic in a second. Or, as you guys should know by now, the dog's going to lose its crap. Here we go. Right, I'm going to switch mic off for 5, okay? Okay, so you can't set the control rotation. You can only get it. Right now, what I'm thinking of is when we use our blend camera, right, when we go here, right? We get our blend camera. And what we can do is say get camera and set use pawn control rotation. Okay, just as a test, as I said, we are spitballing here. Right. Now, you'll notice that our camera does not move. Now, we are turning, you can see that the compass is moving, right? But obviously, other things are not. Wait a minute. Yeah, you can see our pawn is not moving. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine as well, I think. What is going on with that? Right, so that's okay. Right, it was basically because I wasn't setting the camera up and was closing it down properly, but since we're just mucking around with the different settings, I've got Screen Apple from a while back. Oh, UE on fracture mode. Why is all different colour? I'm taking it that's on the destruction thing. And if it is, I believe it's because it's showing you where it's going to split the parts. Right, the colour is by like which thing is first to get destroyed and stuff like that. I believe that's what you're talking about, but I'm not 100% sure. Okay. Now, okay, maybe I'm thinking of this the wrong way around here. Okay. I've got no idea what you're talking about, Screen Apple. If you're talking about something else, the only thing that I've seen that relates to what you're talking about is mesh destruction. Right, so this basically is not working. Okay. So I'm going to delete that because, well, doesn't work. Yeah, the reason it does it in different colours is so you can see it. See, you can see where it's going to split up. That's kind of the point. If it was all the same colour, then you wouldn't see where it was going to split up. I think that's the reasoning behind it. So what I'm thinking here, right, is does this camera stop? No, it doesn't. So I kind of don't get it. Right, let's try something else, shall we? I'm going to wonder what happens right. Apparently I can't add. I wonder if I can add apparently I can't. Okay, let's try something else. Where was our blend camera? Right, if we go back over here. Right. We'll delete this code back out. It's going to be one of those nights where I've really not made any progress, but at least I've tried things. So there's that. Right. Now, the interesting thing here is has it got an auto activate? Should have. Apparently it doesn't. Okay, so I'm guessing that would need to go in here and activate it, or we'd need to go in here and deactivate it, right? But I'm wondering what it's going to do, right? So let's try it and find it. Right, so we're using our standard one, right? Which is kind of fine. Right, so that's cool. So let's copy that. Right. Right, this is escalating it. Hi Tarkov, mate. It's not going very well, but that's okay. It's okay. We're trying to do things that we know that we know there's problems with, put it that way. What? Actor. That is an actor. Ah, pulled off the wrong one. Duh. I wonder. Apparently can't cast it either. Well, that's not going to work then. I'm guessing that's why we didn't do that. Right, I'm going to delete that. And we're going to delete that. And I'm going to be absolutely frank. I'm going to have to do look at some tutorials or something on this, because whatever's going on, I can't seem to fix this camera in place in a third person view so that it works. Right, I think I'm going to have a look at basically create a project or open a project with a general third person view, like for example, right, it's going to be like one of these. Right? Now this might be crazy, but I might have to swap controllers on this. Right? So, like, if we press play on this, right? Ah, that's not working either. Right. So, that's like an orbital camera as well. What we actually want is a first person camera, come to think of it, right? Because that always faces the way that you're going, right? So I need something with a first person camera. And I know that Shooty Bang Bang is, but that's going to take about an hour and a half to load. Right, so it looks like we have to change from a third person camera to a first person camera. Right? Now, I think this one, don't know if this one's going to give us what we want. I'm going to dismiss that. Yes, so you can get, I mean, I've got a few, right? But I could just take, I'll probably not be doing that. What I'll probably be doing is I'll just be basically looking at the controller, right? Seeing how the camera's set up, and then just basically copy those across and create a camera that's the first person version, right? And when they go into aiming mode, it jumps to the first person camera. Right, so the orbital is obviously third person. I was getting them confused because I'm stupid and I never play first person games, right? But it's obvious now that we actually need a first person, right? Now, it isn't going to be first person as in like looking out their eyes type thing. It's more going to be in a, you know, stylized position over the shoulder first person, right? So it's going to be first/third person, right? Because you're going to be viewing it in third person, but the camera is going to act like a first person, right? That's the plan here. So what I'm going to do, and I'll probably do this after the stream, depending on how long this takes to load up, is I'll compare a third person controller against a first person controller and see what the differences are, and then basically implement them in the game. Yeah, it'll be Tarkov mic, yes, it'll just be when you aim, right? So when you aim, basically what I've done is I've taken out the animations that basically move her head and torso when you're in aiming mode, right? So that your bow won't twist around. Because obviously if you're moving above the pelvis, right, it's going to move, right? Right, but we want the third person to basically move like a first person. Now, we're going to have to use the aim offset as well, which we need to make the animations for, but this might take a while because this is sitting on 724 shaders, right? So that's a bit of a bummer. And I don't actually know what's in this Ballistics FX project. I think I've just got the Ballistics FX. Shooty Bang Bang, I actually did it in multiplayer and got all the effects working like on everybody else's screen. So if you fired at stuff, then all the effects would go off on all the different clients, which was quite cool. I had to do the whole bloody thing again. Or I'd extend out the ballistics asset to work in network mode. You want to yawn? So guys, rather than put you through this has got like 564 shaders to complete. I'm going to close up for the night, so I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, hit like and subscribe for any of you that haven't already. Good to see you guys, Screen Apple, Tarkov, Mike, and also the other guys here. Sinistro, Stormrun, Marius, all you guys, thank you for popping by. It takes long to load, yeah, it's because if you load in a different project, right, and you've not loaded it in a while, it basically has to do all the shaders again, right, which is a bummer. So it was a toss-up between just creating a first-person project from scratch, which would actually, when I think about it, probably be faster, right? But every time you do this is what happens. If you load up a new project, it'll load up all the shaders again, right? It's just a price you've got to pay. It's down to 384, but it's going to happen anyway. So, as I said, don't want to put you guys through this. I'll have a look at it tonight after the stream, and hopefully we'll have something by tomorrow. Then we can actually work on the prediction of the projectile, etc., right? And make sure that our arrow is going in the direction we want and hitting where we should be hitting, and then we can add some variation to it or something and get that working for there, right? So, as I said before, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for keeping the chat going. It's always good to see your comments, and check out the description. You guys join the Groenland Discord and my personal Discord. I would like to see you there. Check out the Patreon, and also check out my previous game on Steam, and it's still only $1. I shall catch you tomorrow, guys, at 2 PM Central and 8 PM Central. Bye bye for now.